The day Clara buried her parents, she felt as though the earth had swallowed her future. She was only 19 years old. The dusty village road leading to the cemetery seemed longer than ever as she walked behind the mourners. Her black dress was faded because it had belonged to her mother. Beside her walked her little brother, Daniel, who was only 9 years old. Daniel did not fully understand what had happened. He held Clara's hand tightly and kept asking the same question. "Are Mummy and Daddy coming back?" Every time he asked, Clara felt her heart break all over again. She wanted to cry. She wanted to scream. She wanted someone older to tell her what to do. But there was nobody. Their father had died after a long illness. A few months later, their mother followed. The relatives who had crowded their house during the funeral slowly disappeared after the burial. Everyone returned to their own lives. The promises they made vanished with them. Some said they would help. Some said they would send money. Some said they would check on the children regularly. None of them did. Within weeks, Clara realized something terrifying. She was now both sister and parent. The responsibility of raising Daniel had fallen entirely on her shoulders. First, she tried to continue school. She was in her final years of secondary education and dreamed of becoming a teacher. But dreams do not pay rent. Dreams do not buy food. Dreams do not pay school fees. The little savings their parents left behind disappeared quickly. Soon the landlord began knocking. The shopkeeper stopped giving food on credit. Bills piled up. One evening Clara sat on the floor of their tiny room staring at her school uniform. She knew what she had to do. The next morning she folded the uniform carefully and placed it inside a box. That was the day she dropped out of school. Nobody celebrated. Nobody thanked her. Nobody even noticed. But that sacrifice changed the course of her life forever. While other girls her age attended classes, Clara began searching for work. Any work. Every work. At first she washed clothes for wealthy families. She scrubbed dirty garments until her fingers became rough. She carried water from distant wells. She sold fruits under the burning sun. She cleaned restaurants. She swept compounds. She worked in markets from morning until night. Sometimes she returned home exhausted. Her legs hurt. Her back hurt. Her hands hurt. But whenever she looked at Daniel sleeping peacefully, she reminded herself why she was fighting. The boy must stay in school. The boy must have a future. Years passed. Life became harder. As Daniel advanced in school, expenses increased. Textbooks, uniforms, examination fees, transportation. Every new term brought another financial challenge. Clara never complained. Instead, she worked harder. One afternoon, while delivering supplies near a mechanic workshop in Lagos, she noticed something. The mechanics earned decent money. The work was difficult. The environment was rough. But they survived. An idea formed in her mind. When she asked the workshop owner if she could learn the trade, everyone laughed. The men mocked her openly. "A woman mechanic? Go and find kitchen work. This is not for women." But Clara refused to leave. Every day she returned. Eventually the owner became tired of seeing her. He agreed to let her learn. The first months were terrible. The work was dirty. Heavy engines. Greasy hands. Long hours. Constant insults. Customers doubted her abilities. Workers mocked her. Many expected her to quit. But Clara had faced worse. She had buried her parents. She had abandoned her education. She had survived hunger. Mockery could not defeat her. Slowly she learned. She mastered engines. She understood transmissions. She repaired brakes. She diagnosed faults. She became one of the most skilled mechanics in the area. People started bringing their vehicles specifically for her. Money improved slightly. For the first time in years, Clara felt hopeful. Daniel was growing into a smart young man. His teachers praised him constantly. He consistently ranked among the best students. Whenever he brought home excellent results, Clara forgot her struggles. She would smile proudly and tell everyone, "One day my brother will become somebody important." Daniel often hugged her and replied, "I will make you proud, sister." Those words kept her going. Years later, Daniel gained admission into a university in Lagos. The entire neighborhood celebrated. Everyone praised Clara. Many people knew the sacrifices she had made. The woman mechanic who raised her brother alone. The sister who became mother. The young woman who gave up everything. People admired her. Clara herself cried tears of joy. For years she had imagined this moment. Daniel was finally entering university. The future looked bright. But university life changed Daniel. At first the changes were small. He called less often. He visited home less frequently. His conversations became shorter. Then he started sounding embarrassed whenever Clara called. Especially when his friends were around. Clara noticed but ignored it. She believed he was simply busy. She continued paying fees. She continued sending money. She continued sacrificing. Whenever university expenses increased, she worked longer hours. Sometimes she repaired cars late into the night. Sometimes she skipped meals. Sometimes she postponed her own medical needs. Everything was for Daniel. Everything. Years rolled by. Finally, graduation day arrived. The day Clara had dreamed about for more than a decade. She woke before dawn. She wore her best dress. Though old, she ironed it carefully. She traveled to the university with excitement filling her heart. Her eyes sparkled with pride. Her boy was graduating. Her son. Her brother. Her greatest achievement. When she arrived, she spotted Daniel standing with friends. He looked handsome in his graduation gown. Clara smiled. Her eyes became wet. She walked toward him. But before she reached him, she overheard something. One of the friends asked, "Who is that woman waving at you?" Daniel glanced at Clara. Then he laughed. The laugh struck her strangely. He replied, "Oh, her. She's just somebody helping us at home." His friends nodded casually. Nobody suspected anything. But Clara froze. Her smile disappeared. The words pierced her heart like a knife. Just somebody helping us at home. Not my sister. Not the woman who raised me. Not the woman who sacrificed her future. Just a help. For a moment Clara wondered if she had heard incorrectly. Then Daniel looked directly at her. His expression confirmed everything. He was ashamed of her. Ashamed of the mechanic sister who raised him. Ashamed of her rough hands. Ashamed of her humble background. Ashamed of her sacrifices. Clara felt something break inside her. Yet she remained silent. She congratulated him. She smiled. She took photographs. She pretended everything was fine. But inside, her heart was bleeding. After graduation, Daniel changed completely. The respectful boy disappeared. A stranger took his place. He became arrogant, cruel, entitled. Whenever Clara advised him, he dismissed her. Whenever she spoke about responsibility, he mocked her. He now considered himself superior. After all, he was a university graduate. She was only a mechanic. Months passed. Daniel struggled to find employment. Instead of working hard, he spent time showing off. He borrowed money. He attended parties. He chased status. Still, Clara supported him. One evening, Daniel arrived with exciting news. He claimed an opportunity had appeared in London. According to him, a company was ready to employ him. He only needed travel expenses and processing fees. Clara listened carefully. Her heart filled with hope. Perhaps this was finally the breakthrough. Perhaps all the sacrifices would finally bear fruit. Daniel held her hands. "Sister, help me this last time. When I get to London and start earning, your suffering will end. I will change your life. You will never work as a mechanic again." Clara believed him, because despite everything, she loved him. The required amount was enormous, far beyond her savings. Yet she refused to give up. She sold equipment. She emptied her account. She borrowed money. She sacrificed once again. Eventually she gathered every naira required. The day she handed Daniel the money, tears filled her eyes. She believed a new chapter was beginning. Daniel hugged her, promised her everything. Then he left. Weeks passed. No updates. No flight details. No confirmation. No employment letter. Whenever Clara called, Daniel avoided questions. Months later the truth emerged. There was no London job, no travel, no opportunity. Daniel had lied. The money never left Lagos. Instead he spent it on parties, alcohol, women, hotels, expensive clothes, fake lifestyles. His friends enjoyed the benefits, while Clara struggled to repay debts. When she confronted him, he became angry. He blamed her, insulted her, accused her of controlling him. That night Clara sat alone. For years she had carried another person's future. For years she had neglected herself. For years she had waited for appreciation. None came. Something changed inside her. Not anger, not revenge. Clarity. For the first time in years, Clara asked herself a question. What about me? What about my dreams? What about my future? What about my life? The next morning she made a decision that would transform everything. She stopped funding Daniel's lifestyle. She focused on herself. She focused on herself. The money she once spent rescuing him, she invested. She expanded her mechanic business. She hired workers. She attended training programs. She learned business management. She opened another workshop, then another. Years of discipline began producing extraordinary results. Her reputation spread across Lagos. People admired her journey. Customers trusted her expertise. Investors noticed her determination. The woman who once struggled to buy food slowly became successful. Very successful. Meanwhile, Daniel's life moved in the opposite direction. Without Clara's constant support, reality caught up with him. Friends disappeared. Women disappeared. Money disappeared. Opportunities disappeared. The people who enjoyed spending his sister's sacrifices abandoned him. Eventually, he found himself alone. One afternoon, he returned to the old house. The house felt strangely empty. He expected Clara to be there. She wasn't. The neighbors informed him she had moved years ago. Not only had she moved, she now owned businesses, properties, workshops. She employed dozens of workers. Daniel could hardly believe it. The sister he looked down on had built an empire. The woman he denied publicly had become successful. The mechanic he was ashamed of had achieved more than he ever imagined. For days Daniel searched. Eventually he located one of Clara's businesses. When he arrived, he was shocked. The place was massive. Modern equipment, professional staff, busy customers. Everything looked impressive. He suddenly remembered the old workshop where she once struggled alone. The contrast was painful. He asked to see her. The receptionist informed him she was in a meeting. For the first time in his life, Daniel had to wait. Hours later, Clara emerged. Elegant, confident, successful. Not because anyone rescued her. Not because anyone supported her. But because she finally chose herself. Daniel stared silently. The woman before him was almost unrecognizable. Yet her eyes remained the same. The eyes that watched over him since childhood. The eyes that stayed awake when he was sick. The eyes that cried with pride during his graduation. The eyes he once betrayed. Slowly he approached. His voice trembled. "Sister." Clara stopped. For a moment neither spoke. Years of memories stood between them. Finally Daniel lowered his head. The arrogance was gone. The pride was gone. The excuses were gone. Only regret remained. Tears filled his eyes. "I'm sorry." The words came out broken. "I'm sorry for everything." Clara listened quietly. Daniel continued. He apologized for the lies, the disrespect, the betrayal, the denial, the humiliation, everything. When he finished, silence followed. Then Clara spoke gently. "You broke my heart, Daniel. I gave you everything. My education, my youth, my dreams. I never wanted repayment. I only wanted you to remember where you came from." Daniel cried openly, because he knew every word was true. Clara looked at him carefully. Then she smiled sadly. "I forgave you a long time ago." Those words hit harder than any punishment, because forgiveness revealed the depth of her character. She had every reason to hate him, yet she chose peace. Daniel wept uncontrollably. For the first time, he understood the value of what he had lost. The greatest blessing in his life had never been money. It had never been education. It had never been opportunities. It had been the sister who loved him unconditionally. The sister who became a mother. The sister who sacrificed everything. The sister he denied. From that day forward, Daniel slowly rebuilt his life. Not through shortcuts, not through lies, but through honest work. And though the scars of the past remained, he spent the rest of his life honoring the woman who made his success possible. Whenever people asked about his greatest inspiration, he never hesitated. With pride in his voice, he would say, "My sister Clara, the strongest woman I have ever known. The woman who gave up her future so I could have one." And this time he never denied her again. Because some sacrifices are too sacred to forget. Some love is too powerful to ignore. And some people only realize the value of a diamond after they have treated it like a stone. As we come to the end of Clara's incredible journey, one truth remains clear. Never forget the people who sacrificed for your success. Many people pray for opportunities, but some are blessed with someone willing to sacrifice everything so they can have a better future. Clara lost her parents, gave up her education, worked tirelessly, endured humiliation, and carried responsibilities far beyond her age. Yet the person she loved most failed to appreciate her until it was almost too late. Thankfully, forgiveness healed what pride had destroyed. If this story touched your heart, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. Tell us in the comments, do you think Daniel deserved Clara's forgiveness? Thank you for watching, and remember, kindness, gratitude, and loyalty are treasures that should never be taken for granted. See you in the next story.